Welcome to Bills Nation Daily, your ultimate daily dose of everything Buffalo Bills. Hit that subscribe button and join the most passionate Bills fans as we break down all the latest news, highlights, and game analysis. Go Bills! When the news broke this morning, the NFL world practically stopped breathing for a few seconds. Reports started circulating, then sources confirmed it. The Buffalo Bills have pulled off a blockbuster trade to acquire Myles Garrett. Yes, that Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns' defensive monster, the man who terrorizes quarterbacks like it's a hobby. It's one of those deals that nobody saw coming, but somehow makes perfect sense in hindsight. Buffalo, desperate to bolster its defense after another frustrating playoff exit, decided it was time to go all in. The move signals that the Bills are done waiting, done hoping. They're taking destiny into their own hands. In exchange, the Browns are reportedly receiving a haul that includes multiple first-round picks and possibly a key defensive player. It's not every day you trade away a generational pass rusher, but the Browns seem ready to reset, maybe even reimagine their future around new leadership. Garrett, meanwhile, heads to Buffalo, a city that breathes football and worships defensive legends. The moment this deal hit social media, fans lost it. Garrett in Bills blue? Unreal, one comment read, and honestly, that's the feeling everywhere. Unreal, but oh so real now. What makes this trade even wilder is how quiet it all was until it wasn't. There were no leaks, no hints from insiders, nothing. The Browns and Bills played this one close to the chest, and when the news finally dropped, it hit like a thunderclap. Buffalo fans have been begging for a defensive identity ever since the team's heartbreaking losses in recent years, especially when they couldn't stop key drives late in games. Bringing in Myles Garrett changes that overnight. This isn't just a move, it's a statement, a declaration that Buffalo refuses to settle for almost. Imagine pairing Garrett with Von Miller, two elite edge rushers, both hungry, both with something to prove. For quarterbacks in the AFC East, this is nightmare fuel. Josh Allen might finally have the kind of defensive support that can turn close games into decisive victories. The buzz around Buffalo's training facility is electric, and insiders are already calling this the most aggressive move in team history. Whether it pays off or not, it's clear the Bills are swinging for the fences. But let's talk about the Browns side for a moment, because this is just as fascinating. Cleveland parting ways with Myles Garrett feels almost sacrilegious to fans who saw him as the cornerstone of their defense for years. He was the face of the franchise, the one consistent bright spot through chaos, coaching changes, and quarterback dramas. Yet, sometimes franchises reach a crossroads, and this seems to be one of those moments. By moving Garrett, Cleveland frees up a massive amount of cap space, opens the door for a long-term rebuild, and stacks draft capital that could reshape their roster entirely. Sources close to the Browns suggest this wasn't a decision made overnight. The front office had been weighing it for weeks, quietly exploring offers, but never finding one they considered serious enough until Buffalo came calling. It's a gamble, no doubt, but one that might define the next decade for both teams. Browns fans are split, some furious, others cautiously optimistic, but everyone knows this move will be talked about for years. Now, from a pure football perspective, the fit between Garrett and the Bills' defensive system is almost poetic. Buffalo runs an aggressive, attack-heavy scheme that thrives on pressure and chaos, exactly the kind of environment where Garrett dominates. His combination of speed, strength, and football IQ could elevate this defense to top-tier status overnight. For defensive coordinator Bobby Babich, this is like getting handed a new sports car and being told, go win races. Opposing offensive lines will have to double Garrett constantly, freeing up opportunities for other players to feast. And then there's the psychological impact. Teams will have to plan around Garrett, completely altering game scripts before the ball is even snapped. For Buffalo fans, who have endured decades of heartbreak and near misses, this trade represents hope. Not just a spark, but a fire. The idea that the Bills are finally building a complete team, one capable of winning it all, is driving the fan base into a frenzy. Of course, there's always the human side of trades like this, and Myles Garrett's move is no different. He leaves behind teammates, friends, and a fan base that adored him. By all accounts, Garrett was emotional but composed when told about the deal, expressing gratitude toward Cleveland while showing excitement about the next chapter. Sources say he's already spoken with Josh Allen, and the two hit it off immediately, discussing leadership, goals, and the hunger to win. Allen reportedly told him, "Let's make history," and Garrett's reply was, "That's why I'm here." Those kinds of moments, those little glimpses of connection, are what make trades like this feel bigger than football. Buffalo's locker room is buzzing, and veteran players are calling this the missing piece. Garrett brings not only elite skill, but also a work ethic and intensity that demand excellence from everyone around him. This could shift the entire culture of the Bills' defense. And then there's the bigger picture, the league-wide ripple effect. Every team in the AFC just got a wake-up call. The Bills aren't playing around, and this move could trigger a domino effect across the conference. Rival teams like the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bengals will now have to rethink their offensive strategies against Buffalo. The Patriots and Jets, division rivals, suddenly face a defense stacked with star power. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. With the AFC as competitive as it's ever been, one elite addition could be the difference between heartbreak and glory. For fans and analysts, this trade isn't just about stats, it's about symbolism. Buffalo's message is clear: we're done waiting. We're coming for the Lombardi. And with Myles Garrett leading that charge, that dream feels closer than ever. As the hours passed and the shock began to settle, details about how this trade actually came together started to emerge. And wow, it's a masterclass in secrecy and strategy. Apparently, the Bills' front office had been quietly monitoring the situation in Cleveland for months, sensing that tension was growing between Garrett and management over direction and long-term vision. While nothing public hinted at discontent, insiders say Garrett wanted to be on a team fully committed to contending now, not later. The Browns, facing cap issues and needing flexibility, realized that Buffalo's offer was too good to ignore. The two sides reportedly held late-night talks, keeping everything under wraps until all paperwork was finalized. Not even top reporters had the slightest clue, which is almost unheard of in today's NFL. When the call came through and Garrett was officially a Bill, some executives were said to be giddy, describing it as the most impactful defensive trade since Khalil Mack. It's rare for a team to pull off something this bold without leaks, but Buffalo did it. And in doing so, they've instantly changed the narrative of their franchise. What makes this move even more interesting is the timing within Buffalo's championship window. Josh Allen is entering his prime, Stephon Diggs remains an offensive weapon, and the Bills' front office knows that the next 2 to 3 years are their best shot to bring a Super Bowl to Western New York. The addition of Garrett fits perfectly into that timeline. They didn't just trade for a player. They traded for an identity, for swagger, for fear, for dominance. Buffalo's defense has always been solid, but not terrifying. Now, with Garrett on one edge and Von Miller or Greg Rousseau on the other, it becomes a nightmare for any offensive line. The locker room, according to insiders, erupted when the news hit. Players reportedly started texting each other things like, "We're built different now," and "nobody's safe." That kind of energy can redefine a team's season before a single snap is played. If the Bills were looking for a spark, they just got a lightning strike. Over in Cleveland, reactions are a mix of disbelief and reluctant acceptance. Fans are heartbroken, of course, but there's also an undercurrent of understanding that something bigger might be in motion. The Browns are likely entering a phase of retooling around younger talent, possibly shifting focus toward the draft and future flexibility. Sources close to the organization say that this move was about long-term sustainability, freeing up resources for a full rebuild rather than clinging to one superstar. Still, it's hard not to imagine the pain in that locker room right now. Myles Garrett was not just the captain, he was the leader. His work ethic set the tone, and his presence demanded accountability. Losing that is like losing the heartbeat of the defense. Yet, football is a business, and sometimes the most emotional decisions are the most strategic ones. If the Browns nail their next few drafts, this trade could be remembered not as a loss, but as the start of a new era, albeit one born out of heartbreak. Meanwhile, social media is absolutely on fire. The memes, the reactions, the fan edits, it's chaos in the best way possible. Bills Mafia is celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl already, posting photos of Garrett in mock-up jerseys and declaring, "It's our year." Even rival fans can't help but acknowledge how massive this move is. Analysts are split. Some call it genius. Others warn it's a dangerous all-in gamble that could backfire if injuries strike or chemistry falters. But that's the thrill of it, right? The NFL thrives on bold moves, and this one feels cinematic. Sports talk shows are already debating who won the trade, who lost it, and what it means for the AFC hierarchy. One thing's certain, the NFL offseason just got a whole lot more entertaining, and Buffalo is right in the center of the storm. As for Garrett himself, the man seems ready. His first statement as a Buffalo Bill hit all the right notes. Humble, focused, determined. "Cleveland will always be family," he said, "but I'm here to chase greatness with Buffalo. Let's get to work." Short, sharp, and powerful, exactly like his play style. Within hours, he was already scheduled to fly out, meet his new teammates, and get fitted for his new number. Fans are speculating what number he'll wear, and stores in Buffalo are already preparing for jersey sales to explode. Local media reports that ticket inquiries have skyrocketed since the announcement, with some outlets calling this the Garrett effect. You can feel the buzz in the air, not just excitement, but belief. Buffalo has dreamed of this kind of moment for decades, and now that dream has a face. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. But make no mistake, with great moves come great expectations. Myles Garrett isn't just joining a team. He's joining a city that lives and breathes football. Buffalo fans don't just support, they obsess. Every play, every sack, every moment will be magnified, celebrated, or scrutinized. That's the pressure, but also the magic of playing here. If Garrett delivers, he won't just be another star. He'll become a legend, etched alongside the greats who define this franchise. The Bills have flirted with greatness for years, always just one step short. This trade could finally be the step that turns almost into finally. And for Garrett, it's a chance to chase the one thing he hasn't yet achieved, a championship ring. The stakes couldn't be higher, and that's exactly how Buffalo likes it. And here's the wildest part of all. The ripple effect hasn't even fully hit the league yet. You can already sense that other front offices are scrambling, double-checking rosters, and reevaluating their own blueprints for success. When a move of this magnitude happens, it forces everyone else to react. Suddenly, the AFC East looks completely different. The Dolphins' offense, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, even Belichick's Patriots, they've all got to account for Garrett coming off that edge. Coaches are already in film rooms, sketching new protection schemes just to survive. This is what true disruption looks like. Buffalo didn't just strengthen themselves, they shook the entire chessboard. The conversation has shifted from "can the Bills compete?" to "can anyone stop them?" And that psychological advantage, that aura of dominance, might be the biggest win of all. For a franchise haunted by heartbreak and almost moments, this could finally be the season that flips the script. Garrett's arrival isn't just a signing. It's a statement of intent. Buffalo's tired of being the underdog. They're here to be feared, and the rest of the NFL better wake up fast. And if you close your eyes for a second, you can almost picture it. The snow falling in Orchard Park, the crowd roaring, Myles Garrett bursting through the line and sacking a quarterback under the stadium lights. That's the vision Buffalo fans are holding on to right now. It's not just a dream. It's something that feels inevitable. You can sense it in the air, in every conversation, in every headline. This isn't the same old Bills anymore. This is a team reborn, angrier, hungrier, and ready to make history. Garrett brings that energy, that fire, that belief that every great team needs. And if things click the way they should, this move won't just be remembered as a trade. It'll be remembered as the turning point, the spark that ignited a dynasty. From Cleveland to Buffalo, from respect to legend, Myles Garrett's journey just entered a brand new chapter. and something tells me this story's only getting started. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.